Hello, welcome to the latest edition of Last Bell Boxing. Today we've been joined by Lee Eaton, who's kindly gave us a bit of his time to join the show to talk about himself and all things MTK. Good evening, Lee.
How we doing, lads? You okay?
Yep.
Good.
So you got myself, Carl, who I've been communicating with you, and you've got Ray at the top, who's based in Newcastle. Don't hold it against him.
I love the tone. I love the tone.
Brilliant. So, Lee, let's jump into it. Obviously, I've been doing some research, and I believe you joined MTK in 2016.
Yeah.
So, what took you to MTK?
To be honest, it was a chance meeting. Obviously, I was at a show in January 2016. I've just been doing white collar box promoting, unlicensed promoting. My best mate was John Wayne Hibbert. So I was at his fight versus Tommy Martin at I think it was the Copper Box. We went back to the hotel, and ended up bumping into MTK or MGM at the time. They was Tommy Martin's management. Sort of just went and introduced myself, chewed their ears off for a couple of hours, and just got introduced myself, got friendly with them, then had a few messages after, and then November time ended up creating obviously MTK London, and that's obviously that's how it started. We launched MTK London January 2017 at the first show, St Patrick's Day, I think it's March 17th. Just started off with a couple of small hall shows. And it just grew and grew and grew.
Yeah, I mean, to where it was to where it is now, I've been looking at the boxes on your roster.
Still quite surreal for me, because sometimes I look back and think, oh, bloody hell, we was there a little while ago and now we're here. So it's good.
Fair play though, mate, because sometimes it's about being in the right place at the right time, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, everyone's got to be have their opportunities and get lucky and stuff like that, but you've got to obviously work hard to make that happen. And I believe that since I've been with the company, I've grafted.
Yeah.
I've grafted my nuts off, and obviously things have happened. Some of the things that I've done with MTK was still sometimes pinch yourself, do you know what I mean? But obviously it's just the world's the oyster at the minute. I'm just looking forward to seeing what the next few years bring.
So if I was to say to you, Lee, who's the next world champion coming out of MTK, who would you put your last pound on?
Well, it's going to be Jazza Dickens on August 7th.
Kid Galahad.
That's going to be our next world champion.
Great fight.
Great fight. And Joe, what I would love for Jazza to do it. It's a very tough fight. Kid Galahad's a world-class fighter. I've been obviously lost a world title fight now. Not going to want to be denied again. So he's in for the fight of his life, but I just believe it's Jazza's time.
Obviously, being a Nottingham lad, Lee, obviously I'm a bit of a Lee Wood fan. I'm
a big Lee Wood fan myself. I'm a very big Lee Wood fan. Love watching Lee box. A good friend of mine, away from boxing regularly. And I hope a few things come off for him as well.
So, just coming on to, what would you say your highlight is since working for MTK?
I've always say, obviously, one of the first highlights is obviously the first show. Then it was the first show at York Hall we done, which we sold out. But the highlight has got to be obviously co-promotion with Bob Arum at Falls Park in Belfast for Michael Conlon.
Yeah, and obviously I've done quite a bit of research on you, Mr. Eaton, and I can see that you do talk about your work with Jay Harris a lot, don't you? The journey.
Yeah. He just texted me saying, "Can you answer my text?" I was like, "I'm sorry, I've got too many to answer back."
Because it's fair to say, Lee, what a job you did with him. From where he was when you first,
Listen, I'm very good friends with Jay's manager, which is Gary Lockett, and co-trainer. Gary was in a bit of he admitted to us, so he's in a bit of a rut at the time.
Yeah.
Wasn't nowhere to go. Obviously, had loads of promises, loads of false promises on that. MTK signed Jay, got him a little 6-rounder, and then got him the European title against Angel Mourinho. Went and won the European title, and then went on to fight Paddy Barnes, and then went on to fight for the world title. And now he's back. Obviously, has another fight, and now he's back in the world title eliminator.
Yeah.
So,
Ray, do you want to come in?
Yeah, I was just going to ask in terms of when you look at MTK now, from when they started, do pretty much just seen as a management company only.
Yeah.
Now you're getting put in the promoter category. You've already had success with, the tournaments, like the Golden Contract tournament, that kind of stuff. Do you see yourself with the likes of Eddie Hearn now going away from Sky and onto the Zone? Do you think perhaps there's another opportunity for you guys to put on more tournaments or something similar of that ilk, like the Golden Contract?
First of all, I love the Golden Contract. It was an unbelievable 3 tournaments.
Yeah.
3 very well deserved winners. Obviously, Jazza, Hara, and then obviously Bolotniks, who will be fighting Boaxi.
Yes.
He asked for that fight a long time ago. He wanted that fight for ages, so I'm buzzing for him. The tournaments were great. Obviously, great fan friendly. Obviously, good 50-50 fights and stuff like that. I'd love to do another Golden Contract, but I don't think we'll be doing one yet. But hopefully, down the line, maybe we can get another one going.
Okay. And another one that was a question that was asked of us as well is the franchise of the gyms. You touched upon it there with MTK London, which would have been your first one. And obviously,
the first gym was started from Marbella, MGM, Manchester and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There ain't an actual gym in London. It's more MTK London was more for the promotions.
But yeah. I mean, we knew the MGM Marbella and how that went MTK Marbella, but with the likes of the franchise that you got going now, I mean, is the plan to sort of keep expanding with that, or get amateur setups from that?
Listen, a lot of the franchises are like they come to us in different obviously areas. Obviously, you got like Miami, you got Denmark, you got a couple in Spain. You got they're all over the gap really, and it's a testament to MTK for obviously to have people wanting to be a franchise of the company. So all gyms are greatly equipped gyms. So it's if you're obviously ever in them areas, there's an MTK gym, get yourself in there.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the one in Newcastle, and it's got a bit of MMA in there as well. It ain't just boxing, so it does branch out. So and they're very, very popular. Everyone that goes in and out of them and speaks highly of them.
Yeah, listen, you don't really it's MTK for the fighter. That's what they pride themselves on. Obviously, being there for the fighter and making sure we get the best for the fighter.
Yeah, and a lot of fighters say that, Lee, don't they? MTK, always, is always mentioned in good light when boxers talk about the management capability.
Yeah.
What do you think sets you aside from other promotional companies?
A promotional company. To be honest, we only started doing promoting shows to keep our fighters busy.
Yeah,
that was the only reason we started doing shows. It was never intention to be a promoter.
The brilliant shows, I've watched a few on IFL and blah blah blah.
Because they're competitively, that's one thing I like about them. And obviously, you've got a stable, Lee. Sorry,
because they got a good matchmaker.
Who would that then, Lee? Who would that be?
It was obviously never ever going to be the thing to do shows, but obviously where we had so many fighters, we had to keep them busy, and then it's just grown and grown and grown, and obviously the shows are getting bigger and bigger. Obviously the viewing figures is unbelievable on IFL. You don't get many free the cards we do. Putting them on free, obviously there's no shows out there for free with them competitive shows. So that's what we've prided ourselves on, the 50-50 fights, and that's what we're going to, obviously through lockdown we've had to do it, and that's what after lockdown we're still going to do it.
Yeah, yeah. And like you say, it's good for the fighters, isn't it? It keeps them active, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not all...
There's a lot of fighters that have not been kept active through the COVID, obviously, but obviously as soon as we can, we will be putting on extra shows, like small hall shows for like 6-7 fights with like smaller cards with just like an area title on and stuff like that, just to get all the boys that have not been active out and keep them active. So that's our plan. Obviously, we're just waiting on restrictions to be lifted, and obviously we just want to get all our boys active again.
Yeah, people underestimate them Southern area titles and such like, don't they? They're normally...
I love a Southern area title.
Yeah. Brilliant fights. So what we'll do now, Lee, we'll move on to the Q&A session. So this is where I can say my little disclaimer about nothing to do with me, Governor. This is coming from the audience.
I'll answer everything truthfully. Don't worry about that.
So, first of all, a couple of people asked, what's the best fight that you've seen live? So, a nice gentle one to ease you in.
Last fight I've seen live. You know what? I've seen so many live. Jazza versus Lee Wood was good.
It was a good fight.
Very good fight. One of the first show or the first couple, it was Billy Bird versus Matt McCarthy. If you've never seen that, have a little watch if you can find it. Great fight. There's been so many fights. Obviously, I've struggled to remember. Obviously, the best fight on the shows.
Let me try the next one with you then, Lee. What is the most awkward press conference you've been involved in? I like that question. I thought that was a good one.
One of the funniest ones is when Tyrone McCullough and Tyrone McKenna come in dressed as within Dumb and Dumber. that was probably one of the funniest. There's been some tiffs at a few press conferences. It's always quite fun, to be honest. I normally just end up laughing, trying to be professional, but you can't.
Yeah, you can't when it's all kicking off and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this one from the research I've done, but who is your boxing idol? Now you can go for what? You can go for a boxer or a promoter.
As a promoter, it's got to be the one and only Bob Arum, just because of what he's done with the sport.
And that longevity as well, Lee.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I've always obviously matchmakers. You got to look at Bruce Trampler, who's obviously the best matchmaker. Roberto Diaz from Golden Boy.
Yeah.
Boxers, I always loved Ricky Hatton and Joe Calzaghe. I did like obviously recent boxers. Do you know what? It's hard to say like a recent boxer, but obviously you can't not like Canelo. I was banging the drum that Billy Joe had beat him, but it just shows what a world class fighter he is, and he's just great to watch, isn't he?
Yeah, top draw, isn't it? He'll go down in the boxing
levels. That's all I can say with Canelo. Absolutely, just levels.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. Fair enough. The last one's a bit of a naughty one, Lee. So if you decide to refrain from this, no hard feelings. So here goes. Who is the easier promoter to deal with, Eddie or Frank Warren?
You know what? I don't deal with them direct.
Good answer.
No, there's obviously someone in our head of one of our persons in MTK, which is Anthony Fitzpatrick. He's the one who deals with Frank and Eddie, so I don't deal with them direct. But as obviously a personal front, obviously I've spoken with Frank and stuff, but obviously I've had more of a conversation and more of a thing with Eddie. But they're both, what Frank's done over the years, unbelievable. What Eddie's doing at the minute is unbelievable. So fair play to both of them.
Yep. And lastly, for me, what do you make of the Sky deal with Top Rank?
The Sky deal with Top Rank's unbelievable for boxing fans. Obviously, we're all boxing fans at the end of the day. To get to see all these live in 3 weeks, I think you get to see Shaka Stevenson, Inoue, and Lomachenko.
Yeah.
What more could the boxing fan want?
Yeah.
So,
just a quick one for me, Lee. It's just more of a one in the future. Obviously, I don't know whether you've come across. You would have seen some of these small hall promoters that they haven't had a chance to put stuff on in the pandemic. I know you touched upon it, but some of them now are trying to be a bit creative. You know, maybe putting on, maybe using apps to a bit like what the Zone have got, like a streaming service. Is that something perhaps with the vast amount of fighters you've got on you guys could probably look at in the future, or is it technology like that?
It's nothing we've discussed, and nothing obviously of interest to me. Fight Zone, obviously you're talking about Fight Zone.
Yeah, for example,
yeah. Listen, obviously fair play to them. I've bought it, the app each month. I'm not going to lie, I've only watched one fight on it, but obviously I've bought it to support boxing. At the end of the day, the more boxing for fighters, the better. Will it work over? Obviously, if you compare it how Box Nation went and obviously Fight Zone went, a lot more money was pumped into Box Nation, and that didn't really work. I pray to God, obviously, for boxing that Fight Zone succeeds. I hope it does, but it will obviously see some of the cards. There's a couple of good fights on there. Obviously, a lot of new fighters on there. Like obviously, with your obviously 80-20 fights and stuff like that. I'd like to see a lot more 50-50s on there if I was obviously a fan paying £4.99 a month. But it is what it is, and I wish them well, really do.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've always done our shows free on YouTube, and we've put on absolute 50-50s all the way through the cards. Obviously, next week we've got Jay Harris in the world title eliminator, Paul Butler in the world title eliminator, Jose Burton versus Liam Conroy, Gary Cully versus L'Oreal Simeon, and then we've got a stacked full of youngsters on the undercard as well. So, and that's all free. So it's however you want. The more boxing, the better. The main thing. If obviously you're paying for an app, you want to see more 50-50 fights.
Yeah.
So good luck to him. I hope it succeeds.
Difficult marketplace at the minute, though, Lee, isn't it, without crowds? You know, very difficult marketplace.
Yeah, the boxing world is very, very difficult at the minute. Obviously, I've got a lot of friends who do the small hall boxing, Nicole Greaves, Steffi Balls, and stuff like that, and they're not been able to promote due to obviously the restrictions, the costs, and stuff like that. So hopefully, it opens up soon, and everyone can get back to doing what we love.
Yeah, we've had Carl Greaves on this show, Lee, and you know, when he started breaking down the cost of a show, I don't think boxing fans appreciate just what the outlay is before you even earn a penny. You know, be it doctors or be it boxing board of control fees. You know, it really is a tough time, isn't it?
Carl's a very good man. He was, when I first started doing the white collar, he's the first person to give me the advice of what to do, I've known Carl good 10 years. So he's a great bloke, and he knows the game inside out. And you knew some of the costs. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Some of the even like your board costs, your inhabitants costs, the worst thing has been the COVID tests. Like you're paying for a show, you're looking at like nearly $7,500 just for COVID tests, which is ridiculous.
It's a lot of money. Yeah. Shout out to Carl Greaves because he come on this channel very early days and helped me out. You know, like you have, Lee. It really is appreciated.
Yeah, no problems at all.
So, have you got anything else you want to say, Lee, before we bring it to a close? Anything you want to plug? I know you gave Jay Harris a little bit of a plug there.
Just tune in next week, 25th of June, IFL TV, for a stacked show.
Brilliant.
Free.
Hopefully you come back up to the Northeast, see some more shows on.
I've got to deal with that Joe Laws.
Yeah, Joe Laws, written, that kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, no. I love coming up to Newcastle. It's great. Obviously, the shows are great up there. Hopefully, we'll be promoting back up there very soon.
Well, Ray can buy you a pint if you're back up there soon, can't you, Lee?
More than one.
There
won't be a pint, it'll be a brandy.
Yeah, don't expect too much from Ray. He's got short arms and deep pockets, Lee, but we'll leave that one there. So, Lee, again, thanks for coming on, fella. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you'll come on again.
Just let me know. And obviously, if I can help you out of any fighters, come on, just shout me.
That's a kind offer. I really appreciate that. Lee, have a good evening. Thank you very much.
Take care.
See you soon.
Cheers,
Thanks very much, Lee. All the best.
Bye-bye.